Hello everybody, it's Stefan Joubert here from the Stefan Joubert Guitar Academy. And in today's video, I'm going to speak to you about what to do when you reach a plateau in your guitar playing. I get it. To reach a plateau is super frustrating. We've all been there before, and sometimes you may feel like you want to pull out your hair and maybe, kick around the furniture around the room or something like that. But at the end of the day, there's always a way getting past the plateau, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about in this video. So let me give you a typical scenario. Let's say that you are a guitarist and you come from a rock background and now you move into jazz guitar. So you then start to learn your 2-5-1 progression. You start to learn how to improvise over the 2-5-1. You learn all your arpeggios, you learn your scales, you learn your modes, you learn your lines, you learn licks, and you've got a whole bunch of information that you can then put over a jazz standard. So after a little while, you get quite comfortable to more or less improvise over a jazz standard, and most of the time you hit all the right notes, you play the right arpeggios, you put licks in at the right places. And after a while, you feel as if your playing sounds like you're walking across the carpet backwards and forwards in the same spot. After a while, you feel like you're just keeping on rehashing the same licks, the same arpeggios, and everything sounds not that musical. So if you analyze what you're playing, you realize, okay, you're playing the right notes at the right time, but there's a lack of musicality, there's a lack of true spontaneous improvisation. So now you get super frustrated because you cannot get past this point. So the first thing is, well done for getting to that point, because it's really difficult to already get to that stage. Now, the thing to do when you're at that level of a plateau, and this is now an example of someone learning to play jazz guitar, it could be with rock guitar, it could be with shredding guitar, it could be with metal, it could be with classical, it could be with strumming, it could be, if you're a songwriter, maybe the way you write your songs, not quite getting the songs through as strong as you want to your select audience, and you feel that you're not quite hitting those hit songs. When you get to that stage of the plateau, the first thing to do is to pause and pat yourself on the back and say, okay, well done, I've reached a step in my playing. Remember, during a plateau, a lot of other stuff will also develop in the background. So it's not as if at a plateau you will not continue to develop, you will. But to get beyond the plateau and to get onto the next level in your guitar playing and your musicality, you need to do some very deep introspection into yourself and into what exactly you're doing. So let's take the example of the guitarist who put a lot of effort in. He's been, let's say one of my own students has been studying as an example for 4 years with me. He's doing very, very, very well. Now he can improvise over all the jazz standards or a lot of the jazz standards. He's able to play through the 2-5-1s. He's able to navigate the chord changes pretty well, but there's still a big stagnation in the way his solos sound versus, for example, someone like Keith Jarrett or maybe Charlie Parker or one of the greats. The first thing to do, like I said, is to go for the introspection. And typically what I would advise in such a case is to go out and look for a solo that the individual enjoys, and then actually go and transcribe it. You can use some transcription software where by ear, write that transcription down, learn to play it on the instrument, and then analyze it. And the transcription should not be, if it's a jazz solo, don't go and transcribe a guitar solo. Go and transcribe a saxophonist, go and transcribe someone playing jazz organ, or someone who's playing the flute or any other instrument. Try to get away from just doing everything on the guitar with other guitar players. Listen to a big range of music. So let's say you then, or the individual then proceeded to transcribe this solo, let's say by Charlie Parker or by anyone else, or maybe by Chet Baker, and he's written it down and then he's analyzed it. What he's probably going to find is that Charlie Parker or Chet Baker or John Coltrane or whoever they're transcribing is probably putting a lot of space in their playing. So even if John Coltrane would, play like a fast, quick line, there would always be a little space that he would put before he hits another line, and he might have some long melodic notes in there as well. So whatever you do then, you can then analyze and realize, whoa, I'm walking on the carpet because I'm just using the same rhythms and phrases, and I'm just focusing on one element of improvisation, which is arpeggios, licks, lines. I've got the knowledge part, but the phrasing, the breathing part, all of that is lacking. Because remember, as guitarists, we are able to just pick and play, pick and play, pick and play. If you talk to a singer or you talk to a saxophonist, they need to breathe in before they can make the notes go out. So that's important. Even when you play, even just as a side tip, sometimes take a breath when you do a solo. And always remember to breathe. Otherwise you clog up the system, tension will come in, and you will not be able to perform at your optimal level. So then, by studying this piece of music, transcribing it and studying it, our guitar example, or guitar student, the example of the guitar student here, will then notice, whoa, I've got to put some gaps, some phrases into my own playing. So some of that will be taken from Charlie Parker. Then it's about reworking your own improvisations over the jazz standards. And then you will reach the next level. It is usually a heck of a lot of work. You're not going to break through the plateau without putting in the time and effort. You're not just going to get there quite quick. You've got to do the introspection, think what is exactly wrong with the way I'm doing. Not wrong, but what can I do better than what I'm doing at the moment? And I would even recommend thinking about that most of the time. So you can think, what one or two things can I do in my playing, in my improvisation, to make a massive difference to the way I play? And that is my advice for you to reach beyond the plateau, to go to the next level. So just to sum it up, you need to do deep introspection. You need to understand that while you're at the plateau, a lot of other stuff develops in the background. One thing you can do is you could even look at something like the stock market. Sometimes you can see some of the stocks, if you look at Amazon and you analyze it from years back, that thing has just been drifting along and all of a sudden it exploded upwards. So sometimes it can be like that in your own life or your own playing as well. You can have situations where you just feel like you're going sideways. Then certain things open, you're able to practice more, knowledge and everything clicks together and whoosh, it goes through the roof. So it's the same. Everything in life goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes it's a long plateau just on the side and you feel like, what the heck am I doing? I'm not improving, I'm not getting better. But the key is to keep on trying. Another piece of advice that I would give is if you are studying the guitar by yourself and you're not studying with an excellent teacher, that can be a problem as well, because we can only do so much by ourselves. But if you're in the hands of a good teacher, they can guide you and help you. Of course, you need to put in the time and the effort as well, but you can make so much quicker progress on your playing than just trying to figure it all out yourself. In fact, you'll probably pick up some bad habits if you just do it all yourself. Of course, there are some self-taught guitarists, but most great guitarists had lessons with other greats, and over time they became great at playing. The best musicians in the world, if we look at the classical realm, if we even look years back, if we look at Bach, Mozart, all of them had training in music. And these are the best in the world. They had training. So don't think, oh, I don't need training, I can just be self-taught, teach myself. Some of that is true, but if you feel like you reach a plateau, you do need training and someone who can help you put that extra energy into your playing, give you a bit of guidance. If you work alongside someone, you're going to make much, much, much better progress. Does it take time? Yes. Is it frustrating? At times, yes. But you have to see it as a journey, not a destination. And you have to enjoy the journey. You have to give the time, its proper time to work out. And you have to accept the fact that you cannot get there overnight. If you can't accept that fact, you're just going to end up pulling all your hair out. You're going to get angry at everybody and you are going to blame the world around you when the problem is really lying within. So what I would recommend is when you reach the plateau, follow this advice. Either get a guitar teacher, someone to help you to push you to that next level. Make sure you get a reputable guitar teacher or someone who can really look after you. Or you can do some deep introspection, do a lot of work alongside someone as well. Or if you want to do it by yourself, just follow this advice. Go deep within, do a lot of work, and then success will come to you. Well, thanks again for listening to me. I wish you the greatest of success in your own guitar journey.